Now, ladies and gentlemen, with the recent release of the Real Major update inside of Counter-Strike Global Offensive, people, it seems to be, are still stuck on these new stickers, how they look, how they differ from each other, and with new logos and new backgrounds, people are wondering how they look in-game. People are most importantly forgetting about the main point of a major, and that of course who is going to win and who is going to lose, and how most importantly you get that diamond major coin, and it really all starts with the pick'ems during the challenger stage. So that's what we'll be discussing in today's video. Now if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that like button and of course subscribe. And before we hop into the pick'ems, here's a quick word from our video sponsor, Skins Monkey. Now today's video sponsor is of course Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is currently the easiest and also fastest way you can buy, but most importantly trade your CSGO skins. All you have to do is make sure you have your trade link, and on your first trade, if you have a leftover balance, it goes towards your current balance that can be used the next time you end up trading skins. It has 3 ways you can inspect, but most importantly has a very in-depth inspect feature that you can see corners on a karambit, for an example, you can't really see otherwise unless you have the item in game. If you end up topping up your balance, make sure to use promo code MANDO to get up to a 35% deposit bonus and a free $5 on the first trade. Now my track record for majors hasn't been the greatest, but it's been pretty good as of recently. Since 2019, I've pretty much gotten every single diamond coin, which has been very nice, and with others, not so much. But I'd say this year is probably by far the hardest to predict pick'ems anyway, because of how good every single team is. Now with the challenger stage, the first thing I want to start off with is 3-0 and 0-3. These two you kind of want to leave, not just say unknown, but kind of. And the reason behind that is these are two kind of important slots, but the main ones you want to focus on are the 7 teams at the bottom who of course are going to advance. These 3-0s and 0-3s are very hard to pick. Even if you have the second or third best team in the world going 3-0, they might have a bad map or a bad match, and that could cost them a series and therefore lose that spot for you. So with that being said, I'm going to pick a team that's not great. They're like top 30 in the world, so I'm going to pick Evil Geniuses for 3-0. I don't think they're going to go 3-0, but if they do, that's great. That's an extra pick 'em for me. And for 0-3, I'm going to pick Greyhound. They're pretty bad. They're kind of new to the scene once again, even though they were back in 2019 and 2018 as well. I'm just going to leave it at that. They're not the greatest teams, but they're not the best. If they go through, great. If they don't, whatever. And for our first pick'em spot is going to be a Vitality. They're top 10. They're pretty good. They have a pretty good lineup, and they're pretty solid overall in game. Next up is, of course, going to be Cloud9. Now, this is not the Cloud9 everyone knows from North America. I believe this is the old Gambit roster, and they've been performing pretty well the past little while, being under top 10 in the world, which is very nice. You always want to see that during your pick'ems. Our third spot up here is going to be very questionable, but I'm going to pick Gamer League. A lot of people are going to question this for many different reasons. They're a newer team, they're a very young roster, and at any point in time, if they have one bad match, that could ruin the whole day for them since they are new competitors and they don't really know how to control that, especially when they're under this environment. Now, the reason I'm picking them is because during the qualifiers, they gave FaZe Clan and some other higher tier teams a big run for the money, pushing FaZe Clan and Mirage into, I believe it was 5 or 6 overtimes. They ended up losing the match, but they did very, very well. And since FaZe is number 1 in the world, I think they're going to do perfectly fine against some teams that are very, very garbage, especially on this level. I just think they have a lot of potential. Take it with a grain of salt, replace it with someone else if you want. That's just who I'm picking for my third slot. Now, our next one up is, of course, going to be Furia. They're top 10 in the world. They're probably going to advance through. I don't think they're going to have a hard time going through it all. Next up is Fnatic, which it's kind of good to see them back once again in a major. They have some old timers on their hands, but they are top 20 in the world, so that's something to keep in mind. They're not the best, they're not the worst, but they have a solid shot at going through. They're usually pretty good under pressure, especially some of the OG players. Next up, we're going to be going with OG. Their sticker looks absolutely fantastic, but I think their team is also very good. They're at that 14th spot on HLTV rankings, a pretty good roster. They had no trouble at all trying to qualify for the major. And our last team up here that we're going to pick is, of course, Mouse. I think they're solid. I think they're great. The reason I'm picking them, they're top 10 in the world. Same with all these other teams. I don't think they're going to have a problem going through, and they perform pretty well under pressure. Now, these are, of course, my pick'em predictions for 2022. Take these with a grain of salt. I've done pretty well in the past with my predictions. People are going to have other opinions as well. I watch this team from afar, but I don't watch it in depth every single day. But I feel like I have a good understanding of who's going to win. But once again, the problems with newer majors is, of course, people are so good at the game nowadays, and especially with certain teams, that it's hard to predict. For all we know, Evil Geniuses could go 0-3 and Greyhound could go 3-0. Is that going to happen? Probably not, but I wish you guys the best of luck, including myself. I'll catch you guys next time, especially during the Legend stage and, of course, Champions pick stage. Have a good day, guys. I'm out. Peace.